Looky what just came in. It's a box within a box. Toner. Oh yeah. You've seen this type of microphone before. All the fancy YouTubers have them. Ooh, look at that pop screen. Very nice. Shock mount for the microphone. A little suspension. Instructions, you know what we do with those. Boom arm. Springy. Very cool. Oh, that's nice. It's nicer a little bit than in the pictures, I think. It's a nice, straight looking, tubey looking. Like, I have the worst descriptions in all of my videos. It's terrible. Can you actually unscrew this? Yeah, I'm just moving the screen around. So I probably don't want to do that. What do we have in here? This is the cord. We got the cord. And then a rather crumpled up pop filter for the front, which is okay because I may not use it due to the other screen. I may use it still. I'm not sure. Well, I'll try it with all. But that's one thing I've known about Tonor microphones is that they tend to ship these a little jankily. I wish that they shipped the pop filters a little better. They always just kind of just toss them in and then fold them up, and yeah, they kind of come back to shape, but they also kind of look wrinkly and weird for a little while. So not a fan of that. I wish they packed those better. It's not the end of the world, but there, fits on snugly like so. It'll probably reshape itself after a while. Got that there, and that's it for what's in the box. So let's assemble this thing and be over with it. So now that we've set this thing up, we're recording straight from the microphone now. I have a few thoughts. First of all, the sound of the microphone itself is actually really good. I was actually surprised how good it was. No offense to Tonor or anything like that, but it was very crisp, very clear, and most definitely very usable. And more than usable. I mean, I think if you're looking to step up your game, the audio from this microphone is more than sufficient. I listened to the best headphones I had, and everything was very, very crisp. There was a little bit of background noise, a little bit of static in the back, but that's because my computer is right here, and it's not the quietest of computers. It's not the loudest either, but I turned the microphone sensitivity up quite a bit, and you can hear it, which isn't the fault of this. It just does pick that up a little bit. It does have, what's the word I'm looking for? Somewhat of a lower sensitivity in a way. To demonstrate, I can walk back to the back of this room, and the camera shotgun mic would probably hear me pretty well, but the audio quality severely degrades the further away from the microphone you are, which is the nature of cardioid microphones. I mean, it's the nature of cardioid microphones is kind of like a plus side and a downside. If you're talking straight into it, which you can tell the direct angle to speak into the microphone is where the volume knobs are. That's where the capsule is faced. So you know that that's what you want to face you. I've gotten criticism in the past that from other microphone reviews that, oh, well, the audio didn't sound as good because you weren't speaking directly into the capsule. And while that might be true, I think realistically most people aren't going to be locked into the microphone and speaking directly to it, which you can hear now that I'm talking directly into the microphone. It is the clearest it's going to be, which you might be able to control with a podcast, you might not. For videos, you tend to have to look around and make eye contact with the camera, which is what I use it for. And if you're using it for games and things like that, then again, the problem is that this thing has to be facing right in front of you. And that's the way sound equipment works. This isn't a knock per se on it. I'm just want you to know before you buy how you have to have this thing set up. You have to make sure it faces you. Now, depending on your environment, you may have a small enough screen where you could place it behind the desk and reach up instead of down. See, I have it up here, mounted to my shelf. It's just the nature of this project. See, my screen is a 32-inch screen. It's huge. And I have a screen above it, so I can't really have the microphone coming up from behind the screen and over to me. Otherwise, it's just in the way. Now, ideally, I would like to have it right in front of the screen so that when I'm doing tutorials and things like that on the screen, I can easily talk straight at the screen without anything in my way or interfering. Right now, the microphone is in my way. Yeah, so that's the nature of it. So some people I've seen, they would have it to the side of them and then, work with it that way. And not that it won't hear you, it just won't be nearly as clear. So this is best used for podcast style, like broadcasting, where all you have to do is really talk straight into it. And you could still read notes or something in front of you. It's just for gaming and videos, unless you are completely sure that the setup of the stand and the boom will not interfere with your screen, then you'd be good to go. So again, the microphone is great. I just want to be clear on the intent of this microphone. Now, that being said, the microphone's good. When I unboxed it, that was yesterday, and I was talking about the crumply nature of it. It has since regained its form, so no harm, no foul. The windscreen, I'm going to assume does its job. I don't really typically scream at the thing, but it would help with a little bit of the percussion of a blast from the mouth. So if I go, we'll see how much you hear that. So yeah, the windscreen, it's kind of, I don't know if you can see that, a little floppy, and I'm not particularly happy about that. There doesn't seem to be a good way to tighten it, since the way it's kind of screwed in just kind of does that. I made it circle around. See, if it was standing up, I believe that's the way, like if this wasn't hanging down and this was standing up, I believe that wouldn't be an issue, because the force of it being pushed down would kind of cease from, what's the word I'm looking for? It would keep it still. Yeah, like once this has the gravity pushing it down, it'll remain in place. But it's still not perfect. It can't exactly be angled at any direction. It kind of needs to rely on something, otherwise it'll just kind of fall. See, if I were to place it here, boop. And it's not nitpicking or anything that badly. It's just that's a little annoying. So this also has that problem. It'd be nice if I wanted to get it out of the way, I could just push it up and it'd stay there, but it just kind of falls down. I'd like it to be able to stay in place at any angle that you place it at. But again, I don't think this was necessarily meant to hang, even though it kind of would make sense if it did. But the springs kind of push it outward so that it can fight against gravity, and when you're giving it the gravity in the other direction, it doesn't really help. So in my setup, I have to have it hang, otherwise I can't use it. So it'd be nice if it worked in both directions equally as well. So also for readjustments, so say you have to keep in mind that the capsule has to face in the right direction. So depending on how you angle this, you have to make sure to rotate the mic, which you would grab, it's these. You would grab these two clips that tighten around the microphone, and then you can rotate the mic to the appropriate angle, which would be here. All right, another thing before I forget, which I kind of did, I had to add this. Why even get a mic with a boom? Yes, it looks really cool and makes you look legit, but why get one of these things? What's the important feature of having a mic on a boom? Well, it's not only just to be able to position the mic properly in front of you like it is here. When using a cardioid mic, it's really important to have the microphone at the right angle, which sometimes if it's on the desk isn't going to be faced properly. But another key feature about having a mic on a boom with a suspension like this, the shock mounts, is that when a microphone is on the desk and you have it like on the platform here, any vibrations on the table at all, anything that hits the table or even just your voice speaking will vibrate through the table and transfer up the stand of the mic and into the receiver. So it'll pick up that and it'll have a very distinct low vibrating sound. Like there'll be like a resonance in the background, not like an echo or anything or even a hard rattle, but there's kind of like a sound that comes with that, which you can avoid if you have it on a boom in a shock mount. So the vibrations aren't transferring really. It doesn't really get the chance to because it's suspended in this setup. So really it's better because they're going to be affected by less vibrations, which if everything is made correctly and suspended well, and everything I've heard in the audio recordings I made and reviewed sound very clear and they lack that sound. So that's something important to note. I mean, you can avoid some of those things by placing padding underneath your microphones and things like that, but sometimes that's an extra hassle and it still doesn't quite guarantee it. So, yeah. I mean, at the price of what a lot of other cardioid microphones would be anyway, this comes with the cool kit. So, the more you know. In conclusion, final thoughts. The audio quality is great. It will definitely help you step up your game. I'm not just saying that. You can hear the audio on this segment of the video to figure it out for yourself. The stand could do with some improving, but at the price, just having a boom that functions even in the way that it does and the microphone, even the microphone at this price is probably a decent deal. Yeah, so the boom for certain situations I think would be quite sufficient for a lot of people. I just mention those things just so that you know before you buy that that's the way they behave. And I think that's important to know. It's not necessarily a knock because this is still a great price for the boom and the mic. I just want you to be completely aware beforehand. I still would recommend this as long as you know those things and don't think that will be an issue for your setup. This mic isn't really going anywhere. You have to really tug on it to even budget. Functionality there is good too. I like it. I'm gonna probably have to find a different way to position this. This is the best one I could find yesterday when setting up, but I'm gonna have to find another way. I may actually have to move my computer to a different angle, which may be the solution, so that I could have it in that corner of the desk. This is an L-shaped desk. If you watched this is the desk I've had since last year from the Ulikit desk. So I may have to rearrange a few things in order to get this mic to be positioned in the proper way. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, you know what to do. If you didn't like it, well, you don't know what to do. For more reviews and more tech talk and all that stuff, feel free to subscribe. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you later.